Hello everybody, this is Kate at the Library of Whispers, and for a little bit of fun I decided to do something a bit different and post a short video of a ferry ride that I took over the Easter weekend across the River Mersey and show it to you with this soft-spoken commentary. Firstly, apologies for the wobbly video recording. I'm certainly not Steven Spielberg, and maybe I'll stick to making videos with books that don't move about in the future, but we'll see whether you like this or not. So anyway, here we are on board the colourful Dazzle Ferry, Snowdrop, and I'll tell you a bit more about that in a minute. And across the river you can see the famous Liverpool waterfront with the Liver building in the centre. And you'll get a better glimpse of these buildings as we get closer. And now we're leaving from the Seacombe Ferry Terminal, which is on the Wirral side of the River Mersey, and we'll be stopping to pick up more passengers at Woodside Ferry Terminal at Birkenhead, again on the Wirral side of the river, and then crossing over to Liverpool and the pier head. The seagulls follow the ferry. It's fascinating, probably waiting for food, but it was great to see. So a bit about the Dazzle Ferry while we cross. The colourful design is based on the First World War idea of camouflaging a ship with monochrome and coloured patterns, so that the dazzling effect would mislead enemy U-boats and aircraft, so that they couldn't instantly identify a class of ship. This idea was turned into floating art by pop artist Sir Peter Blake quite recently, and I think that this is the third ship that we are currently on, the third ferry, that has been painted, but the only one that is currently being used as a working ferry, and it's called Snowdrop. So now we can see both sides of the river. There on the right is the Anglican Cathedral. In the middle, the building that looks like a giant crown is the Catholic Cathedral, and the tall upright tower is St John's Beacon, or the Radio City Tower, and that has a viewing gallery. You can go up there, there's a big lift and takes you to the top, and there's an amazing view. Now the music that you can hear that was being played on the ferry, and for which I'll probably be inadvertently copyright claimed for, sorry YouTube, it wasn't my fault, is the famous Ferry Across the Mersey by Jerry and the Pacemakers. There's also some commentary as you travel on the 50-minute cruise, which is quite interesting and tells you about the different landmarks. So if you're ever in the area, go check it out. So now we're just leaving the Woodside Ferry Terminal at Birkenhead to drop off and pick up passengers. A little bit about the Birkenhead Ferry as we move away. The first ferry service was run by the monks at Birkenhead Priory from 1318. That's not 18 minutes past 1, that's actually the 14th century, when they were granted the right to operate a ferry by Edward II. It served travellers for nearly 400 years, and you can still visit the ferry today. I'll put some links in the description below if you'd like to know more about that. So now look, we're looking ahead towards Liverpool again. You can see ahead the two grey and blue modern buildings. That's the M&S Arena on the left, used to be called the Echo Arena, where you can go and see live music concerts, and the exhibition centre is on the right. You can also see the Wheel of Liverpool, the large Ferris wheel, and to the left of that, the large brown brick building is the Royal Albert Dock, and that was opened in 1846, and it was bomb damaged during the Second World War and was finally closed in 1972, and it lay derelict for about 10 years, I think. It was reopened and renovated in the early 1980s and is now a really amazing place to visit with shops and cafes and restaurants. And we'll get a close look at this building as we get closer to the waterside. Ahead now we can see the Museum of Liverpool. That's the white, geometrically shaped building with the large rectangular window. That opened in 2011 and is a fabulous museum about the city and the people and Liverpool life over the centuries. It's a great place to visit. So a bit more about the Liver building as we get closer. That's the old building to the left with the 2 clock towers, and on top of these towers are the Liver birds, one facing outwards towards the river and one facing inwards towards the city. The Liver birds are mythical creatures similar to the real-life cormorant, and they hold a sprig of seaweed in their beaks and are a symbol of the city of Liverpool. So we're now nearing the end of our journey, so I'll say thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this quick trip across the Mersey on the Dazzle Ferry. This is Kate at the Library of Whispers saying bye bye for now. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.